Hello, welcome back to Freedom Friday, and we are almost live. So, what do I mean by that? Today, in this right now moment, I am here on a Wednesday, but there is no time or space. So, I'm here with you at 11:11 on Friday, where I'm actually picking up my beautiful daughter from camp. So, in honoring my Mama Earth energy that needs to nurture herself, I am pre-recording for the first time, and I will be real live again the next Friday. But I did not want to disrupt our flow because this is so important. We are moving forward. This is our final session on emotions and imagination. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, and this is a five-part series, and all the recordings, you can go and visit them in my website where I have the archives, because every single angle of looking at this concept of how our emotions and our imagination impact organ function, so powerful, such a gift to be able to tap into and start playing with healing in this way. So, in the very beginning, the very first class, we opened to heart, the portal of spirit. And the second class, we dove into that liver energy, that connection with our creative expression and, the energy and essence of springtime and everything that grows. Then we dove in to water essence, kidney, bladder, that beautiful, powerful energy, that surging life force and that wisdom that lies within us. And in our last session, I was all bedazzled because we were diving out. I don't want to use the same analogy for water, but we were opening up to the metal element and tapping into our inner sparkle and our valuing our beautiful selves and allowing that spirit to shine through. So here we are in the final session, really grounding things and centering things, because we are opening up into earth energy. So earth energy, our stomach, spleen. Remembering that when I show these charts, I'm not telling you that one side is good and one side is bad. This is just the whole. This is the bigger picture of the process. So we have receive, process, transform, refuse, ruminate, and stagnate. So I want to take a moment to reflect on that feeling, right? The feeling of being in process. So we rely on our digestive system to help us with all of our digestion. So not just our food that we take in, but also like this session, any information that you're taking in. Also even invisible things, energies that you're taking in, emotional experiences, your own processing of your healing. All of that energetically has to go through the digestive system. So any way that we can help to amp up that essence and support and play with that so it's not stuck is going to take us to the next level, because we need it to help us receive, to process and digest, and then to transform, because we don't want to just keep it all stuck in there. We want to take it to the next level, whether that's the food we've taken in, converting it into chi that our body can use, or whether it's this information that you're taking in that is going to become this wisdom that you then apply to change your life and impact your healing. So all processes, when we think of, I use the word rumination, all processes are cyclical in this way. And that has a purpose, right? It has a purpose. Sometimes we can jump, boo, like that. We can make quantum leaps. But other times we need to be in this certain place. And it's because it may not be the right time and space for us to take it to the next level. There may be other information that needs to come in. There may be something that needs to open up within us before we can move on to the next level. But the key with any process is we don't want to become stuck in it. So part of, probably one of the most important and most powerful things I can share with you is this concept of not wanting to get stuck in the process, but also really honoring and being at peace with the fact that the process is part of being a human being. So I want to play with looking at some images of the process, right? So I love this lady. I think I've showed her before. here she is, and she's in it, and her process is muddy and it's stinky and it's got all these different but I look at her face and I wonder, is she sad? Is she mad? Is she ecstatic? Is she terrified? Is she loving the fact that her process is like nourishing her skin with this lovely mud bath? So it's all a matter of the angle and framework. What if we could just play with our muck? It's just like, oh yes, I made it. And that's okay. Because we all have those moments. So there's one angle, one way of connecting and seeing. And then we have this one. So if you look closely at this image, you see, wow, look at that. All that beautiful manifestation, this growth, this fruitful, abundant garden, and these beautiful flowers, and the structure of it is so beautiful. And, you know, you could think of that, whether that's like, you've had this healing breakthrough in your body, or there's something in your life that it's finally coming to that manifestation phase, and things are just blooming. And you'll notice in front, there's this other beautiful structure. That's a compost heap, folks. Because if you want to have that gorgeous, abundant garden, you got to go through the process that will help to nurture and support that transformation to happen. So think about what compost is. We take our waste, literally, all different levels of waste. We take our weeds. We take that stuff that maybe our liver energy has helped us to break down, and then we put it in this beautiful container, and we bring in the earthworms, and we bring in thyme, and what happens is all of that waste, all of that stuff that had used to be just byproducts and stuckness transforms into fertilizer. So our stuff becomes the fertilizer for our growth, for our manifestation. So yes to our own compost heap that we have within us and within our lives that is nurturing our growth and potential. Shifting the way you connect and see can change everything, can it? So this final image that I want to share, this beautiful, lovely lady who she's just embodying this place of like, yes, completely. I mean, she's pregnant, not literally, yes, literally, just pregnant with possibility. And she's so at peace, at ease and grace and peace with the whole process of the experience. She can't force this pregnancy to come to completion. It's going to happen in its own time and space. She can't force the phases of the moon to shift. They're going to happen in their own time and space. And as she sits there in this flowy state, everything is just in abundance around her. So again, it's like there's a place for all of this, right? There's going to be times where we're in our process when we're like this. And there's going to be times in our process when we're like this. And part of being able to tap into this power is being open and flexible enough and really honoring your truth in the moment of where you need to be when you're in it. And it begins with being able to fully embrace and accept that being in process is being human. And just that acceptance alone can speed your processing. Because if we resist the fact that we're in that experience, that's going to keep us stuck because we're in that experience for a reason. So next, I want to share with you one of the most powerful places on the planet that I've ever visited. So this is the Grand Canyon. And I've been to the Grand Canyon many times. And my teacher, Grandmaster Lu, started taking us to the Grand Canyon as students to practice Qigong because he was able to make a connection of how powerful the energy is in that space. So when I went, I had the feeling of like this earthly feeling like, wow, no matter what, just being in that space, like this can digest anything. Right? So when I talk about this ability to receive, process, digest, transform anything, Earth is capable of that. And that looks a lot of different ways, right? So even when we talk about our human experience, Earth doesn't have one dainty, way of showing her process. She has a lot of different ways. She will create hurricanes. She will create COVID. There are all different sorts of things that will come into our earthly experience that from that bigger picture perspective are really for our highest good, to help us in our process. And it doesn't always look and feel good. It can be intense. But again, the more that we can start to embody, like, wow, this is here for a bigger purpose. And if it's here for me right now, I should be able to get to that level where I can receive, process, digest, transform, and be able to use this for my highest good. So part of the reason why I wanted to share this is I want to share another little video, and I can't remember if I shared it in here, but I'm going to share it again, about my daughter had witnessed a documentary called Native America. So in this documentary, they talk about the connections between the Native Americans in North America and South America. And there's a couple of things that connect them. And one of them is the concept of this spiral, which is a way of looking at the process. When I show you the circle is part of that bigger spiral. Another piece that was in that documentary was that the Native Americans literally emerged from deep earth and then began walking in circles to find their center. So when we talk about this center, this connection with this earth energy, this is what they were seeking. This is what they were seeking through their external, internal journey. And when you look, it's very interesting, the different tribes in North America, and then you look at the Aztecs and Incas, and you look into South America, a lot of the structures that they were creating were about looking at the alignment between the earth and the sun. And another piece that was in this documentary is they speak about the Grand Canyon as being Earth's womb. So literally, thinking of this image, the womb, that space, that deep, deep connection with our earth energy. So if you're able to go to the Grand Canyon and connect with that directly, that's fantastic. You can also look at these images, and even that energy and that essence radiates out for you. Now, yes, the Grand Canyon is not the only place on earth where you can connect with earth. So I'm not outside right now, but it's a beautiful, rainy, mucky day here on Wednesday. And not that you necessarily have to go all in the way this lady did, but just, you've heard of the concept of grounding and earthing yourself, connecting yourself in the earth. When it's nice and warm like this in your bare feet is fantastic. And have you ever had that feeling, that experience where it's like maybe things are feeling like pent up? You've had a really intense, stressful day, and you walk outside and it's just like, and it isn't even like you have to be doing deep meditation or anything. It's just that transition into being present in Earth's essence, because she's like, it's like she receives you with this big warm hug, and she's like, yeah, I've got this. You know what? You're on the inside that you think there's no way you can figure it out. I can handle that and beyond. So it's the fact that she holds us in that way is healing in itself, but also a mirror and a reminder of, wow, if earth energy is our digestive system energy, we're capable of being able to be at that level. So tapping into our emotions and imagination and connecting into that essence of earth energy and nature is another way that we can bring up our earth energy foundation. Another thing that's fun with earth energy is the singing, is the frequency that aligns with our earth energy. So literally, Mary Poppins made everything easier with a spoonful of sugar, which sweet goes with earth too. But anyway, my point is just there's so many different ways that we can nurture our energy, that on this journey that, sometimes when things get so stuck and so intense, it's fun to be able to play with that, and not just fun, but it's so powerful. And the only thing that limits you is how big you allow your imagination to go. So go out there and play and enjoy this beautiful day, and I will respond to your comments. Please comment, even though it's not, I hope you haven't signed off. Oh. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you live next Friday for Freedom Friday. Mwah!